Hi, I'm Tom. I'm a freelance videographer and photographer based in Brighton. So I make promotional videos, really, do headshots for people, anything really from that involves a camera, I'll do it. And I'm also a YouTube and content marketer. I've been making online content for a long time, sort of like 8, 9 years, and this is my old YouTube channel. So you'll see that like, some of the videos on there backdate quite a while, 6, 7 years, and that is like I had quite a lot of success on that channel from when I started it. I started it when I was actually in college, and made a good few videos in the first sort of few years of that running. So I think it's good for you guys to just get an overview of my history on the platform and that type of thing. So like I said, the channel, I think in its history, I uploaded about 400 videos on the channel. It has still about 17 million views, 17 plus million views. And at its peak, it was peaking at 75,000 subscribers and was getting about 1 million views per month. So it was doing very well at the peak. But unfortunately, I sort of decided that I would get a real job, a normal job in inverted commas. So I did some working at startups. Brighton's got a really good technology startup scene, so I worked for a couple of businesses here. And I was still doing a lot of video production, which is obviously why I do that now. But I was working more closely in digital marketing and content marketing. So I had a big break for maybe like 3 to 4 years, I guess, from the channel. And I decided that because it was super relevant to what I wanted to do, I wanted to go freelancing. I wanted to start uploading YouTube videos again. But the thing with that is my old channel was focused on technology. It was focused on consumer electronics. It just wasn't really relevant to the type of content that I wanted to start putting out. So I did try uploading the sort of slightly new style of videos on my old channel. And I did that for about sort of 6 months to a year and just really decided that it wasn't gonna happen. The views and the metrics just weren't there. And I think that is also an important lesson, is like sometimes you do need to know when to stop and maybe start again. So I restarted, and I decided like literally to start from scratch, a new YouTube channel, brand new. And in retrospect, that's been quite a good decision. So this is my new YouTube channel. And I started it in the middle of January this year, mid to late January. And that graph on the right is the last 90 days. So it's growing quite a lot, which is really good. Like just over 4 months of uploading on that channel. And I'm like 1,000 subscribers, which is very good pace for a new channel. I think basically it was quite a tough decision, but it was the right decision. And I think it's good, like I said, for you guys to get an overview of my history on the platform, what I'm doing now, and what strategies I've put in place to sort of lead to this success and hopefully continue this success. So what I want to talk today quite a lot about is YouTube right for you and your businesses? Because it's definitely not right for everyone. And I think people can often get very preachy about YouTube content and video content. Like people think that you should just be absolutely uploading video content, no questions asked. But the thing is, this represents quite a lot of investment, a lot of time, often some money, and it is not for everyone if the strategy isn't right and the right planning needs to be put in beforehand. And so yeah, hopefully by the end of this session, you guys will get a good idea about whether it's the right choice for you. So this is why I love YouTube personally as a platform. It's my favorite social media platform by a long way. So first of all is that the content is evergreen. It's evergreen content. Once you produce that video and spend the time producing that content, it will then be on that platform forever, you know, as long as the platform doesn't go anywhere. So, which is great because people are searching for it, constantly finding older videos, and you will constantly get value from that content. The platform has insane engagement and attention if you make it. But even if you don't make it, like if you're a successful channel, the attention is incredible. But also you can gain traction as a smaller business by targeting the right videos and creating the right content. And what I mean by insane attention is that compared to other video platforms, Facebook is the one that springs to mind. Is like everyone will have heard, if you're involved in, you know, or interested in social media, that like Facebook's video views have exploded over the last few years, and that is true. But their metric for a video view is 3 seconds. So on YouTube it's 30. So the average engagement time on the platform is way higher. Like on my personal videos, people will watch those for an average of like 3 minutes, which is just, you know, for somebody to take 3 minutes out of their day, and maybe they're watching more of those videos. That's quite exceptional for a social media platform. Whereas, you know, you compare that to Instagram, where someone scrolls past and likes a few seconds of engagement. The next is that there's fantastic communities on the platform. And YouTube, the nice thing about YouTube is they form these sort of hubs and niches where people passionate about certain topics will go and talk about these topics, and that goes for creators and also the commenters within those niches. And the other side of that is that from a business perspective, from a metrics perspective, it's a fantastic platform to get clicks on. So like the YouTube description is probably like one of the most popular in terms of referral traffic. It's like an exceptional source of referral traffic. You compare that, it's probably likened to the Instagram bio as a you know, comparison. So for the business bottom line, it's a really good thing. So now, you know, this is opinion based, but I personally think that YouTube is the hardest social media platform to succeed on. It takes a ton of hard work, graft, but by the end of it, you will be multi-talented, multi-skilled in terms of content production and digital marketing, because a YouTuber needs to be able to do all of that stuff. And hopefully your brand will be on the map, which is, you know, I assume the main aim as to why a business wants to be on the platform. So when I say that YouTube is the hardest social media platform to succeed on, now I want to compare it to Instagram here, because I don't mean hardest in the terms of whether or not you're going to succeed, but I do mean hardest in terms of the amount of work to succeed. So the nice thing about YouTube is that you get out what you put in. So I personally will aim to upload twice a week, which means that I'm spending at a minimum of 8 to 10 hours on YouTube video production a week. But, you know, that's totally aligned to my brand and my personal brand and my business. So I'm happy to spend that time. But I know that content is going to benefit me moving forward. The challenge that I've had with Instagram as a direct comparison, especially from a business perspective, is that you need to keep on posting high quality content because the platform is so saturated. So your content has to be really good. You have to be really consistent. And with Instagram, you have to be insanely lucky. So generally these top Instagram pages will have been shared by a larger page. Maybe they got to the Instagram featured section, that type of thing. And it catapults their growth. If you try and grow a Instagram account from literally scratch, it's pretty difficult. Nowadays, at least, it's not the case a few years ago. But with YouTube, you get out what you put in. If you are producing good content and it's targeted at the right things, you will see growth. So in my eyes, here are the sort of 4 sort of ways that businesses can have a presence on YouTube and start using YouTube to grow. And I'll go through them all briefly, but we're going to focus on one mainly today. So first of all is that you make your own content. Now, this is kind of obvious. This is what I do. It costs resources in terms of time, but also it's going to cost you a little bit of money. Second of all would be that you pay someone to make your content. And that obviously costs money in terms of, you know, if you're working with a freelancer or something. I have a couple of clients that I work on their YouTube videos for them. That obviously costs money, and it is an investment. But if you are really focusing on YouTube as a strategy, maybe that's a viable option. You see this a lot for really successful media companies, where they'll either work with a freelancer or inevitably have like a small production company dedicated to producing that content. Third would be partnering with creators to promote your brand, so affiliate and influencer marketing. Now, this is like a proven strategy, and there's probably no better example than Squarespace for making this happen. Like, they've pumped serious money into influencer marketing on YouTube as a platform, among like podcasts and other strategies like that. But it does work, but you have to have the funds to do it. And then the fourth would be running YouTube ads. And we're not going to focus on it too much because it costs a lot, and it's a brand building activity. It can be great, but it's a whole different strategy and different topic. So the one we're going to focus on is making your own content. And I basically want to help you guys put a process in place for planning out the steps that you might take if you're interested in exploring YouTube as the next platform. So a bit of home truths. Nobody is going to want to watch your stuff unless it's one of three things. So things need to be either helpful, genuinely informational, or entertaining. And obviously entertaining is probably the biggest topic on YouTube. Like thousands of people will just watch YouTube videos instead of mainstream TV these days. And most people just won't watch it anyway. You'll find that a lot of the content, the most successful content on YouTube, combines these topics. So you get a helpful video, an informational video that is also very entertaining, and those videos start to succeed really well on the platform. So let's take some examples. So first of all would be Red Bull. They're like example number one when you talk about brand building on YouTube as a platform. I mean, of course, their YouTube presence and their content presence really slots into a wider business strategy. But I think that it's very interesting that like the fact that they did such a sort of like, nobody wants to watch content on fizzy energy drinks. If they just had product shots of fizzy energy drinks, nobody would watch. But they directly sort of align their content and their brand to extreme sports. It's all entertainment and really high quality. But those things are now synonymous with that brand. And next would be Gordon Ramsay, who makes educational content. First and foremost, his content is educational, but also, of course, combines his entertainment. You know, he's a world-renowned chef, but a lot of his content, if you have a look at the two differences between like Red Bull and Gordon Ramsay will be answering questions. He's like, how to make a beef Wellington. And he'll have produced a video explaining that. And the aim is to get that person and educate him about himself as a chef, and also answer that question. So that's all fine. It's all well and good. But what if Gordon Ramsay is an international chef already? So what about someone who is not? So this is one of my favorite YouTube channels. His name is Alex. His YouTube channel is French Guy Cooking. If anyone likes cooking, I would thoroughly recommend you go and check him out. His videos are super, super fun, very informative, and he's an amazing chef. So he definitely combines the educational and the entertainment value. And you can see that he's got a tenth of Gordon Ramsay's subscribers. I mean, Gordon Ramsay has 14 million subscribers. Alex is 1.3 million, but he's some of his videos reach the same amount of views easily as Gordon Ramsay's. He's built that from literally a platform of nowhere using YouTube as a platform. So what about if your business doesn't fit YouTube as a network? And that's absolutely fine. Often you'll find some businesses just aren't really that applicable to YouTube as a platform. And for instance, an example of that might be B2B companies. It's all quite B2C, if you're wanting to talk directly to people, then YouTube is an amazing platform. But what that might mean is, by the way, I'm certainly not saying that all B2B businesses are going to struggle. It's just, you just need to think about the strategy in the right way. But that might mean that you want to produce content for your own personal brand. And I've got Gary Vee up on the screen. I'm sure that's got mixed reactions from everyone watching it, because but love him or hate him, because he's that personality. You can't really talk about personal branding without talking about Gary Vee. Like, he has absolutely nailed it. He is a content marketing machine. Like, he just is. And he basically forged his own niche. And that is what's interesting about Gary Vee, is he'd started from, like, this space didn't really exist. He's become synonymous with the sort of entrepreneurism online thing, the hustle scene. And that is incredible for one person to do that. So if somebody was starting a YouTube channel now, my advice would be this: make sure you do a ton of content consumption before you do any content creation. So you need to watch what other people are uploading, because if other people are uploading, that means other people are watching generally. And that's a good thing, because it means that that space exists and you can get into that space. So make sure you watch anyone doing relevant videos. What videos are they doing? Could you maybe improve those videos? You have better ideas or better production. And you need to find that niche, because if you find that niche, then you know that there's a thing that you're going to be able to target. YouTube is incredibly niche driven. It will recommend channels that are similar to other channels, and you need to niche down. So once you've found that niche, you need to think about a few questions. So firstly, is your niche saturated? Like, is there loads of people uploading in that space? That's not necessarily a bad thing, because it means that people are watching and that there's enough demand that people are there to watch. But that does mean that you're going to need to make better content to be noticed than the other people in that space. The nice thing personally for me is that I don't necessarily think of YouTube as a competition. People aren't competing. Often other creators are thoroughly happy to collaborate with other creators in the same niche, and people really think of it as like growing the niche and the category on YouTube, because that's beneficial for everyone. If your niche is empty, maybe that's not a bad thing as well, because maybe you can be the first. And you do, though, need to assess whether the volume is there and the audience is there in the first place. And we'll come on to that in a second. And is YouTube even right? If it's not right for your business, we talked about one example before, but if it's not right, chances are you can probably use it to grow your personal brand. So are you willing to make that commitment of the amount of content needed to do that, to build your own personal profile? So once you've decided on your niche, it's time for some good old-fashioned SEO. And YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. There's people, I think everyone just goes and searches for YouTube product recommendations and stuff like that. So the platform is extremely popular from a search perspective, and people are asking questions on the platform all the time. So the strategy for YouTube should really be very similar to the strategy if you're wanting to grow a blog. You want to be answering those questions, looking for those long-term keywords. We're not going to focus too much on SEO because understandably that is a long conversation, but look for video ideas everywhere. So there are video ideas everywhere on the platform, and you can see, like, just on this. So I was thinking from a recruitment perspective, and those are sort of 4 or 5 video ideas just like ready-made for you. If nobody has done a video on how to hire the right people, how to hire the right assistant, how to hire the right employees, you can make that video. I mean, I'm sure they have, but you can make that video. So once you've got some keyword ideas, the process is exactly the same as you would be for researching a blog post. You use a keyword tool. So I personally use TubeBuddy. It's like a paid extension. It gives you keyword volumes and that type of thing. You don't need to do that. You can use Keyword Planner, which I believe combines YouTube's metrics with Google's metrics, I think. But as I say, some sort of tool to gauge whether or not people are searching for that that term. The nice thing about TubeBuddy, as you can see from the screen, is that it basically will give you like a score in terms of competition and search volume as well. So that's why I use it, because it just gives you a view on like whether or not there's 4,000 videos targeting that keyword. If videos do exist for that term, how are you going to compete? How are you going to rank for them? So one way is to make longer content. YouTube generally favors longer content because their aim is to keep people on the platform. So generally the watch time will be greater for longer videos. The other one would just be better videos. If you have better information or better opinions, or a more in detail video, all of those things can improve the content that exists for YouTube for that search. And if no videos exist, then you should make one. Just go and do it, because that's an opportunity right there. If people are searching for that term and you can see that they're searching for that term, doing the prior research, and nothing exists using that exact search term, put that in the title and create that video. So another reason that I love YouTube, and again we come back to Gary Vee for this example because there's really no better example, is that so I call this the content marketing pyramid, and I don't really like using diagrams like this on slides, but it is a good representation of how, personally for me, I think YouTube is at the top, and your hero content should be on your YouTube channel, and that can be pulled for every other medium and cut up and spliced and re-edited, and you basically have a content marketing strategy and plan for all of your other social media platforms from your YouTube content. And you can use it on your blog. That's a Google Blogger icon. I couldn't find anything better to represent that if you don't recognize that. But you can pull those videos and post them on LinkedIn, upload them directly to there, and you'll get more organic reach. And you can even put them on your Instagram stories, on your Instagram videos, on your feed. You can upload videos in a minute's length to Instagram. So all of that is really good stuff, and you can keep YouTube at the top of that pyramid. And so in wrap up, hopefully you have an idea on, in terms of the investment, because I think it's really important to be realistic about YouTube as a platform. Hopefully you've got an idea about whether YouTube is right for your business and your brand. And then you need to think about what you would be using it for. And hopefully you've got a better idea about how you might go about that. And then hopefully you've got an idea on the next steps what those next steps might be if you want to maybe start producing content for your personal brand or your business brand. And hopefully you've got an idea about about finding out whether there's a demand, and about whether or not you could satisfy that demand with your content. There you go. That's it. Thank you very much. I'd love to hear any questions if anyone has any questions. That's my LinkedIn. My full name is Tom Richardson. You'll probably see me called Tom Rich, which is my YouTube presence and my website.